and welcome to the first Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Season 36 Double Agents. If you're new to the series, this is just a little bit more of a candid conversation about this past week's episode. Sometimes we go into strategy, sometimes it's just fun talk, and everything in between. Now, we got a lot to go over. We got a partnership, impressions, more screenshots, comment sections, and the highlight of the week and breaking it down. So without further ado, let's go into partnership impressions. Now, before we get into the impressions that I have on these duos, because of people being eliminated, because of the twist of being able to steal other people's partners, rogue agents, I'm just saying that these are preliminary duos, and I know they're most likely not going to stick around for the whole entirety of the season. Also, I'm not going to be talking about CT and Ashley because Ashley has already been eliminated, so CT is off in limbo. And I'm also going to be talking about Natalie and Wes as a duo because technically they're still a duo until we see Natalie's decision in the next week's episode. So let's get into these duo impressions. I'm not going to spend too much time on any one team, so let's just jump into it. In no particular order, we're going to start off with Michi and Liv. We didn't see a whole lot of them in the episode, so to me, I just don't know what to expect from them, and we didn't see them communicate a whole lot in the episode. Next, we're gonna have Leo and Gabby. I think one of the stronger teams, definitely one of the smallest teams in stature. It didn't seem like they were on the same wavelength as Leo was standing up to CT, and then afterwards, Gabby was upset. So I don't know how well they will work as a one single duo. Next, we have Big T and Joseph, one of the more entertaining duos that are on the challenge. Big T not knowing Joseph's name and then Joseph falling asleep in the bar. I think Big T is coming in wanting to play, and she's just not gonna deal with Joseph's crap about not wanting to talk to people or politic or not taking the challenge seriously. Next, we have Devin and Nicole. Two people coming in after a long hiatus off of the challenge. I think they have a good brain and brawn type of situation, but I'm not a huge fan of them, so I'm not expecting much from them in the challenge season. Next, we have Nelson and Amber. Again, this duo, we didn't see a whole lot of them. When we did see them partner up, it was kind of just a little flash on the screen that they partnered up. So to me, we're gonna have to wait and see. I think that they could be a good duo. I just don't know what to expect from them right now. Next up, we have Nani and Kyle. I think both play a fantastic social game, but physically, I think that they are coming up a little short compared to some of the other duos that are in the house. Next up, Teresa and Jay. Both seemed excited to be partnered up with one another. I think both bring a lot to the table. I'm actually having high hopes about them in this challenge season. Next up, we have Lolo and Nam. I think when you look at this team, physically dominant. I just think that they are going to be a strong team. Socially, we haven't seen much from them in the house, but physically, they are awesome. Next up, Cam and Josh, both not each other's first picks. Both are very strong socially in the game with Josh's Big Brother Brigade and Cam's entourage. Also, we should talk about Leroy and Casey as well. Both bring the same thing to the table in their duo, except I think both are at physical strong peaks. The only thing is that at the first time that somebody's going to be able to steal a partner, I think somebody's going to either steal Leroy or Casey. The same with Anissa and Fessy. I think Fessy's going to want to change partners, or he's going to want somebody to steal him, and I think people are going to want to steal him. So I don't see Anissa and Fessy going to be sticking into a partnership too long, but I did love seeing that both of them won the daily challenge, and then Anissa picked Fessy. So she earned that pick, but sad to say that I think the twist is going to throw a wrench in those plans. Then we're going to look into Corey and Tori. First 5 seconds, they picked each other. I think both work well with each other. They've both been on a lot of the same challenge seasons together. We're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen in that duo. Darrell and Amber, I think, are the sleeper duo of the season. I think that people are sleeping on Amber When looking at her Big Brother 16 intro, she's very physical, and I think she's one of the tallest women in the house. Darrell is back. He's in the best shape of his life, I feel, and I think together they are a strong pair. And finally, we're going to look into Natalie and Wes. On paper, I think one of the stronger duos. I think socially, they have a target on their back, and Natalie getting that elimination win really bumps them up a lot. But I also feel as though that people are still going to continue to come after Wes. But I think as a duo, they are strong. I can see them winning a daily challenge. I can see them getting into a little bit of power. But they do have a target on their back. Now, at the end of episode 1, we were given yet another trailer. We got some more screenshots that we have not seen in any other promo. So I'm going to jump into showing you guys some of the screenshots and some of the stuff was able to get. We have this screenshot right here of the Minefield Daily Challenge. As we can see from the helmets, I think Cam on one helmet. I think we see Amber's name on the other helmet. I assume that is Darrell, so that has to be Amber B. Maybe it is Josh. You know what? It looks like Josh. And then we have the underwater challenge right here. I feel as though that you can see an E and a V. Could this be Devin? And then we have the Mud Pit Daily Challenge where we can see Nany, Lolo, and Cam. Then we have this eating challenge, and we can see clearly that Nany and Kyle are still together. They're still a duo, drinking some gross and eating some gross stuff. Then we have the Ice Block Challenge where we have Amber M and Nelson working together. And we can see right here that there is something in the ice block they are trying to break out of. Then we have the Mud Pit Challenge again. We can clearly see that Casey, Teresa, and Amber B are in this daily challenge. Teresa has what looks to be the X from Battle of the X's 2. Fessy in pads, meaning that I feel he's gonna be in the Hall Brawl, which we did see in other trailers and promos that Nelson is in the Hall Brawl. So could this be a Nelson versus Fessy, friend v friend? Then we have what looks to be, I think, the eating challenge again, where they're in the cage, and we have Darrell and TJ. Then we have this elimination. It looks like a face of a clock where there are different poles and different rings, and it looks like that the people are tethered to one another. This looks to be a very interesting physical daily challenge. It's almost like the Looper challenge, but with a twist. It's kind of like that middle out, inside out daily elimination in Invasion of the Champions, but again, modified. We can clearly see Gabby, we can clearly see Nany, and it seems as though that Nany is like getting the best of Gabby in this elimination. This is very interesting. And look, here it is. Video proof. We have the Hall Brawl set up, and we can see clearly on the helmet name, Fessy. And then here is the Don't Let Go Daily Challenge. And I think this is interesting now that we know some of the duos, and we can see Tori falling and slipping. We have Anissa, and it looks to be Anissa and Leroy holding each other up. So possibly, did somebody steal Casey? Did somebody steal Fessy? And now they are partnered up with each other. I mean, we still see Jay and Teresa still partnered up. Nam and Lolo still partnered up. So, to me, that means that there was some partner switching, and Leroy and Anissa are now partners at some point in the challenge season. As we see, Casey is also in this, but somebody else is holding on to her hands. Gabby is going to be doing that helicopter holding onto the rope. We see Lolo is going to be also doing this. And then we have Casey doing the truck wrestling ring on top of the trucks. And she is going up against what looks to be Amber M. Oh, look at that shot. That is such a great shot. We have Fessy versus what looks to be CT. So now they're going to be going head to head. And it's interesting after the first elimination because Fessy and Anissa threw in Wes and Natalie, and that's how Ashley, CT's original partner, got eliminated. So this is going to be some interesting matchups here. Wes versus Josh on top of the wrestling ring. I was able to possibly see a name in this ball, and I think that says Corey. And then we move into what looks to be people getting some duffel bags, doing some spy stuff. I love to see it. Love the shades, Nelson. And that was it. That's all the screenshots that we have. We've gotten so many daggone screenshots. I feel like I know a lot of information about this season, but I can't wait to see how it will all play out. All right, so now we get into the highlight of the week, and I think, of course, in everybody's minds, the first thing that comes to their mind when they think of a highlight that happened in episode 1, it was Wes taking that shoe to the face. So I felt that we should take a look at it and do a small breakdown for it, and we're gonna break it down sports style. So let's see how this is going on. We're gonna start off right when it comes back from the commercial break. This is the men's daily challenge round, and I wanted to give out some context for it. So let's start playing this. All right, and so when we pause this, we could see the context and where everyone is at the beginning of this round. We have Jay on the left-hand side. We have CT up at the top of the mountain. That's important to note that CT's on the top of the mountain. We have Darrell, Joseph looking the opposite direction. This is Josh right here. Fessy is close to the capsule. That is Nam. And then we have Michi, the focal point, because he is holding the capsule in the middle. Leo Rush, and then Wes is staring directly at the capsule here. We're gonna start playing this. And so there is now, Nelson is there, dog piling up right here. And if we pause it right here, we can see that this is a good old-fashioned dog pile up that we like to say in the biz. Now, in the midst of this, Michi is somewhere in this sea of bodies, and they are all coming after him. Now, taking a look at this person right here, I have a feeling that this is Nelson's leg that CT is having a hold of, and CT is looking directly into the pile while also having a firm grasp on Nelson's shoe, and he is giving a pull, trying to pull Nelson off of the pile. Now, another view on this, we can see the whole pile as a whole from a different angle. So we have the pile right here. Here is Leo standing. We have Corey backed away. Maybe that's a vet move. We have CT right here, still holding on to the shoe in question. And then we have West standing very far away from the pile. He's actually even backing up from the pile for some reason. Now we can see that CT gets the shoe right here. This is what we like to call in the biz a projectile or shoe. And there's 3 things that CT can do. He can either set it down, or he can hand it to the person that lost it, or he can toss it. And if you said toss it, you're the winner here. And there's no better place to toss this shoe than this spot right here. We're gonna play this clip right now, and boom, pause it. As we can see from CT's angle, this is where the shoe was, and this is the trajectory that the shoe made, and this is what we call an MOI, or moment of impact. And then we're gonna pause it right here. Shoe went there, shoe deflected there. Look at this. This is called the moment of realization that a shoe hit you in the face. And CT just does not care. And he's flopping harder than James Harden in the paint, or for any Europeans that are watching, Cristiano Ronaldo in the box. Wes is now on the ground in utter embarrassment, flat on the ground. Look at this face. This is textbook utter embarrassment. And then there's where the shoe landed, right side up, which I thought was very, very interesting. All right, now let's go into some of the comments from my Thursday's video from the review and recap of episode 1. And we're gonna start off with Chanel F, who says, so glad they limited it to only 10 skulls this season. Last season it dragged on way too long. I get they may want to have tested out the concept, and I seeing how the challengers reacted to it, but it was way too easy to still wait out the process, and there was no real scrambling to get down into the eliminations. This season's shakeup is appreciated. I totally agree. I think having a limited amount of skulls works out to the favor of us, the audience, and I'm excited to see what kind of matchups we're going to be getting in the eliminations. Lucas Owens 19 says production. How do we make this elimination better? Ah, yes, add fire. That seems to be the main thing about the challenge in eliminations or daily challenges. Explosions or fires make everything that much better. Ruby V says, I laughed so hard that I cried a little when Wes got hit with the shoe. I totally agree. I think that was one of the best parts. I wish they didn't put that in the trailer or teaser because it was such a great moment still on its own, but it was really, really funny. I was laughing hysterically when that happened. Katie210 says, I'd love to hear you speculate on which people are likely to jump to a new partner. I don't think Leroy or Casey would want to swap partners, but I think they will get stolen at some point in the season. I think Fessy's going to want to swap partners. We're going to have possibly Cam's going to want to swap partners, most likely. I think that Nani and Kyle will want to split up at some point. I think it's better for each of their games. I think 100% Big T is going to want to swap partners. I think she's already frustrated. Possibly Gabby's going to want to change partners. She was upset last episode. Angelica Santos says, I love that they swung big by going for the champs. But I definitely think that it was not a smart move considering they didn't know what the rules of the season were going to be. I think it could really come back to bite them, but Aneesa and Fessy are still a strong enough team to make it far. It could bite them in the butt later down the line, but you also have to think that, okay, so the whole house voted, everybody but Wes, Natalie, Devin, and Big T voted CT and Ashley into the elimination. So the whole house is wanting to send those two champs in, and if the whole house is anti-champs, and Aneesa and Fessy go up there and go, well, we're going to send in rookies to help out these champs, then the whole house could now look at Aneesa and Fessy going, I thought you were with us. Why aren't you with us? I think getting that intel helped them push them make that move to put in Wes and Natalie. And also assuming that the partners were going to go up against each other as a partnership instead of it being a solo elimination. That was a very big twist. I just think that looking at the numbers, if they sent in, say, Leo and Gabby to go up against CT and Ashley, the whole house could have turned on Aneesa and Fessy. And rather than being worried about Wes and Natalie and whatever is going to happen with CT, worrying about those three people rather than having a whole house coming after them, I think is another level of strategy that they had to think of. Alina Nietzsche says, I feel like once people find out that the double agents see who voted for the compromised agent, someone's gonna make a move and lie about who it was to get the compromised agents off their game and go in against them, and I'd put my money on Cam to pull that off. That is a fantastic strategy. I mean, I guess people, if they're talking about who they voted for, it would be easy to figure out who voted for who, but then again, maybe they're lying about who they voted for. I think that is a fantastic strategy that I didn't even think was possible coming into this challenge season or even after episode 1, but that is a fantastic strategy. Nolan Kalara says, quick note, but this is also the second time a survivor defeats a challenge champ. Amazing stat line. I did put out there on Twitter, and I said it in the video that this was the second season in a row where a survivor competitor won the first skull of the season. Nolan coming through with this great fact. Austin Kim says, I'm so glad the Tribunal Inquisition stuff is over. It was nice in War of the Worlds 1, but I was over it by Total Madness. 1000% agreed. I think the Troika and Tribunal has been played out to death. Austin Rapp says, do you think the final will be pairs or will it be ran as individuals? I personally think it would be cool to see a bunch of different pairs form throughout the season like Fessy and Natalie or Corey and Lolo, seeing them get to the end by switching partners so they have the most control throughout the game to end up running the final on their own would be pretty cool. I don't know, that's very, very interesting. TJ did say this was a partner game. It's up in the air. Personally, I feel that maybe it could be like a free agents thing where they swap partners every single leg of the final, which I think could be a very, very interesting way of going about the final. And I think that would be the most fun in the final is if they were to switch partners every single step. And finally, Doc's Pop reviews. I think Natalie will stick with Wes, but I think the smart thing would be to take Leroy as their partner. Then she protects herself for a little while and possibly protects Wes for a bit because he might end up with Casey. Then they get the Champs Out plan, would have a wrench thrown into it if the Big Brother crew want to protect Casey. That is, again, another very interesting thought process to the strategy of the game. I do think Natalie will stick with Wes, but this is a fantastic comment, and I totally 100% wholeheartedly agree. I think Natalie and Leroy would be a solid duo, but yes, I think this would be the way to go about it. But that is it for this episode of Tiny Table Talk. I know we went through a ton of stuff, but what did you think about everything that I went over? Let me know that in the comments section below. What was your first impressions of the pairs? Let me know that. What did you think about the screenshots? Were there something that I made come to light that you didn't see? Or was there something that I missed? Let me know that in the comments section below. And thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 36 Double Agent content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.